Hello and welcome to another edition of Homebrew MTG's Pre-Brews. We are at day 7, a whole week of Pre-Brews, and I just want to say really quickly, thank you everyone that has interacted, shared and encouraged my channel so far. It's been fantastic doing these spoilers, and hopefully this series will be one of many. Right, enough of the motions, let's get down to it. We've shooed away the bushwag. The coast is clear for some sweet, sweet magic cards. Is it a bird? Yes. Is it a fox? Yes, also. The Wizards of the Coast have foregone all subtlety. They are literally just sticking two creatures together. It reminds me of a really old PC game, Impossible Creatures, where they did exactly that. It seems like every colour in this set is now a part of the Simic Guild. So we have a Vulpikeet for 3 colourless and a plains for a 2/3 fox bird, which has mutate. It flies, and whenever this creature mutates, put a 1/1 counter on it. At first glance, one of the weaker mutate abilities, but white is not looking to build mutate matters deck, so just admire the crazy combination of Polly wants a bone. Our next card is Fire Prophecy, a 1 colourless and a mountain for an instant spell. Fire Prophecy deals 3 damage to target creature. You may put a card from your hand onto the bottom of your library. If you do, draw a card. I kind of like this. It's an expensive lightning bolt, but it redeems itself by sticking to instant speed, which will kill a surprising amount of creatures. Then the second part of the card allows you to tuck your worst card in your hand to draw a card. Not many cards care about putting cards onto the bottom of your library. Stick this in a Grenzo deck, and then your best card is primed to be cast for the lowly cost of 2. Low-key, one of my favourite commons so far of the entire set. Next up, we have Deana Mint. Of 1 mind. 2 colours and a island for a sorcery spell that reads, this spell costs 2 less to cast if you control a human creature and a non-human creature. Draw 2 cards. This is conditional draw, however, if you can meet the requirements, drawing 2 cards for 1 mana is by far not the worst thing you can be aiming for. Otherwise, it's just a straight up divination, which is also limited playable. Following that is a Dranith Healer, 1 colourless and a plains for a 2/2 human. Whenever you cycle a card, you gain 1 life, and with the reduced cycling cost of 1. Over the course of the game, in the right build, this could save you from certain death, because it gives you life. Ha ha ha! Our next card also cares about cycling. It is a Snare Tactician for 2 colourless and a plains for a 2/3 human. Whenever you cycle a card, tap target creature an opponent controls. Cute tap trick, as cycling can be cast at instant speed, which would potentially tap a nasty would-be attacker. I'm not sure why this one doesn't cycle itself, but maybe he has a flat tire. Up next, we have Lead the Stampede for 2 colourless and a forest. This is a sorcery speed spell that allows you to look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of creature cards from among them and put the revealed cards into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. These effects are fine, but they can be risky because, believe it or not, one of the key components of Magicthegathering is not being able to look at the order of your deck. This iteration of this effect digs quite deep, allowing you to look at 5 cards, and being able to get all the creatures could be the difference between an unplayable and a playable opening hand. Coming up, we have Flame Spill. I absolutely love it when silver bordered effects transition to traditional legal sets. Originally a super duper death ray from the unstable set, Flame Spill costs 2 colourless mana and a mountain for an instant that allows you to deal 4 damage to target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Solid removal for any creature that has up to 4 toughness. If it is a 4 toughness creature, you get rid of the big body. If it's 1 toughness, it will go bye-bye and it will deal 3 damage straight to the face. Mono Red will be spilling this with glee. Up next, we have a Regal Leosaur for a mountain and a plains. It gives you a 2/2 dinosaur cat that has mutate. Whenever this creature mutates, other creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. As mentioned before, white and red also suffers the same fate of not having many mutate creatures. However, if you are able to mutate this ability a couple times, it boosts all your other creatures, which could be the deciding factor pushing that aggro strategy over the line. From a dinosaur cat, we move on to an elemental cat. For a plains and an island, Skycat Sovereign is a 1/1 flying creature that gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with flying, and has the activated ability for 2 colourless, a plains and an island to create a 1/1 white cat bird creature token with flying. For just 2 mana, this creature could get actually quite big, and it fuels itself with an instant speed mana sink. Not sure why there's a chocolate on its head though. It's Jessicai's turn for an ultimatum. Immaculate Ultimatum cost 2 island, 3 mountains, and 2 plains for a sorcery that allows target players to gain 5 life, deal 5 damage to any target, and draw 5 cards. Compared to the other ultimatums, on first glance it feels a little underwhelming, but in standard I would not be surprised if this sees the most amount of play. A control finisher if ever I saw one. Sometimes the simplest cards are the most effective. Whirlwind of Thought is 1 colourless, an island, a mountain, and a plains for an enchantment that reads, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. Yesterday's episode spoke about the decks that would want to include lots of non-creature spells, and with this, each time you do, draw a card. Simply beautiful. I've already declared my love of Flash in this series, and Sliverwisp is no different. 1 island and 2 swamps for a 3/2 creature that has flash. Whenever you cast another spell with flash, draw a card and each opponent loses 1 life. If I hadn't chosen a flashy creature as a previous terrific card of the day, this would be nailed on as my choice. In a flash centered build, this is going to irk players even more by pinging them for 1 damage and drawing you a card per flash. Does anybody remember? Did I mention flash? Flash. Up next we have Winota, Joiner of Forces. 2 colours and a mountain and a plains for a 4/4 human. Whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a human creature card from among them onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Put the rest of the cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. The reason why this card looks a little bit different is because this is how it would look in Arena. I've shared my thoughts on the search effects, and because this card requires both human and non-human creatures, realistically the chances of you being happy post-resolution are quite slim. Another predictable Boros attacking commander, not my cup of tea. The next mythic in the human that cares about non-human cycle, Kainan Bonder Prodigy for a single forest and an island. This will get you a 2/2 legendary creature. Whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produced. Also, with the activated ability of look at the top 5 cards of your library, you may put a non-human creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. A 2 mana dork for non-land permanent will get you to the expensive activation cost quicker. Being green, that will also help to get a 1 choice Golosk-esque ability. Seems achievable, but I'm not super excited to pack these. Could be my famous last words when they turn out to be the Chase Mythic Bombs of the set. However, I do like the idea of a 3 colourless mana producing Sol Ring. There's not many cards today, with tomorrow being, to my knowledge, the last day of spoilers, but according to Mythic Spoiler, there is still 100 cards left to be spoiled at the last time of checking. So this leads me to my one and only terrific card of the day, which I'm pretty sure no one would have predicted. So here it is, an Unpredictable Cyclone. 3 mana and 2 mountains for an enchantment that goes, if a cycling ability of another non-land card would cause you to draw a card, instead exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a card that shares a card type with the cycle card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then put the exiled cards that weren't cast this way on the bottom of your library in a random order, with a 2 colourless cycling ability to boot. A volcanic cyclone does not disappoint. Less effective in limited, but if you have a dedicated cycle build across any format, this is bombastic. I'm thinking in the new Gavi cycling commander deck, this could be a very effective card for quite a modest CMC, especially given the fact that you get the first activation of this free each turn, and with cycling being so cheap, you could potentially pop this off a few good number of times in both your and your opponent's turns. It looks like it's going to start raining blood because you will be slaying everybody else on the table. So there it is, 7 days worth of pre-brews, and I'm just getting started. If you've liked any of the content, then please feel free to like, subscribe, and share far and wide. Otherwise, let me know what you think about the cards of this set, and is there anything you're most excited to be home brewing? Until the next time, cheers.